I used to believe people didn't just wake up one day and decide to betray you, that it was a slow erosion, missed calls, cold dinners, polite lies. I thought if you paid attention, you'd catch the cracks before the collapse. But sometimes the cracks don't make a sound. They wait for the quietest moment and then split the whole house in half. It was a Tuesday night, the kind where you microwave leftover chili, open one beer, and sit in a silence that used to feel like peace. Savannah was supposed to be in New York, something about a networking summit for brand consultants. She left 2 days ago, suitcase packed, like she was heading into battle eyes on her phone, even as she kissed my cheek. Back Sunday, she said, "Love you, babe. Be nice to the plants." The plants. She always worried more about them than us. At 9:42 p.m., my phone rang. Grayson, her brother. We weren't close. He ran a boutique ski resort in Aspen, lived the kind of life where everything smelled like cedarwood and old money. We only spoke on holidays, and even then it was surface stuff. So when his name lit up, my first thought was, someone died. "Hey, Eli," he said, and his voice had this tension in it. "This is awkward. You got a second? I muted the TV?" "Yeah." "What's up?" He hesitated. I could hear muffled voices in the background, lobby sounds, clinking glass. "Where's Savannah?" I blinked. "New York." "No," he said. "She's here, at my resort. Checked in under her name about 3 hours ago. She's not alone." My body went still. I could hear the hum of the fridge in the kitchen, the old clock in the hallway ticking like it suddenly meant something. "What do you mean?" She booked the Ridgeview suite. Oceanside fireplace. She's with some guy named Cameron Hale. Tall, charcoal coat. They had champagne sent up. I didn't say anything. Didn't need to. Every word had already detonated. Grayson cleared his throat. "Look, I wasn't going to say anything, but you're not just my sister's husband. You're a decent guy. And if someone pulled this on me, I'd want to know." I don't remember much of the rest of that call. Just vague phrases like room service bill and spa add-ons, and your Amex is the one on file. But what I do remember is the photo he sent 5 minutes later, Savannah wrapped in a cream robe sitting on the balcony with someone's hand on her thigh. Her face turned to the side, laughing like she didn't have a husband thousands of miles away, trimming her basil plant and heating up last night's leftovers. I didn't yell, didn't throw the phone. I just sat there, beer in hand, heart suddenly mechanical. And then I remembered something stupid. A few years ago, we went skiing in Vermont. I fell halfway down the slope, face full of ice, knee twisted. While I was still sprawled in the snow, she took a selfie, captioned it, "He falls. I slay." Posted it while I was icing my leg in a cold cabin. Everyone thought it was cute. Couple goals. I laughed then. But not this time. I got up, opened my laptop, and started making notes. Not angry ones. Strategic ones. I pulled up my bank portal, saw the charges. Grayson mentioned $812 in less than 24 hours. I opened another tab and ordered a burner phone. No confrontation. No storming Aspen. Not yet. You can't pull a weed by the leaves. You go for the root. Around 11 p.m., Savannah texted me. Still in back-to-back meetings, but NYC is magical, miss you. I stared at it for a long time. And I don't know why, but I replied, "Don't forget to water the plants when you get back." She heart-reacted. That was the last innocent thing she'd ever send me. By midnight, I'd already called the bank and asked what would happen if I reported a card stolen. Just hypothetically. They told me what I needed to hear. And as I got into bed alone that night, I didn't feel sad. I felt something tighter, sharper. I wasn't going to confront her. I was going to outplan her. Because the truth wasn't that she left me. The truth was that she thought I wouldn't notice. that I was some safe little backup plan, some sweet man who decorated her life like a prop she could replace. But Savannah forgot something. I was the one who built her brand's first website. I was the one who handled the finances, read the contracts, negotiated the lease on our home. She may have crafted the image, but I knew where every pixel came from. And when I was done, she'd realize the ticket to paradise. It was never free. The next morning, Savannah sent me a voice memo. Perky polished her usual work trip persona. "Babe, you would love the hotel here. So old school. Crown moldings, velvet curtains, total Gatsby vibes. Big pitch later with the Dallas team fingers crossed. I played it twice. Not for clarity, just for contrast. It was surreal hearing someone lie so smoothly while imagining her wrapped in a robe that wasn't hers, sipping champagne, charged to a man she didn't love anymore. I didn't respond. Not out of spite, but precision. The less I gave, the more she assumed. And assumption was what I needed. Her belief that I was still the soft one. The quiet man who remembered her almond milk without asking who cancelled poker nights to prep her launch decks, who built her influencer brand from a laptop in our garage while she called me the behind-the-scenes wizard. But see, that's the thing. People like Savannah, they don't respect what they can't see. And I made myself invisible for too long. By Thursday, Grayson had become more than an informant. He was in. "I owe you that much," he said. "My sister's always been performative, but this, even I didn't see it coming." He started sending photos, not out of malice, out of evidence. Savannah and Cameron at the rooftop bar. Savannah in the spa, laughing mid-massage. Her slipping the bartender a $50 bill, my $50 bill, for being discreet. All time-stamped. All catalogued. Meanwhile, I handled the back end. Bank statements. App passwords. I printed every document she'd ever signed under our joint LLC, the one I'd funded, but she'd used as a springboard. I consulted a lawyer quietly off the books. Asked questions that felt like sharpening a blade. Savannah kept posting aerial shots of New York filtered coffee-staged hallway pics in some Manhattan-looking hotel. What she didn't know was that I recognized the artwork behind her. In one post, it was Aspen, not Manhattan. The painting had Grayson's late dog's name on the bottom. He'd commissioned it from a local artist. She forgot her brother's taste in art. On Friday morning, she called me during her break between sessions. I let it go to voicemail. "Hey you, I miss your face. Think we could do a FaceTime later? I want to show you the hotel. It's nuts. And there's this rooftop that has your name all over it. Ugh, wish you were here. Wish you were here." She had no idea how close I already was. Not physically, but mentally. I was 5 steps ahead, and gaining. That night, I called Grayson. "You trust your concierge?" I asked. "With my life." "Cool. Have him upgrade her. To what, the signature penthouse? Top floor. Complimentary, tell her it's part of a promotional campaign." Grayson paused. "You want her to feel like a queen?" "Exactly," I said. "Let her think she's winning." He let out a low whistle. "You're cold, man." "No," I replied. "I'm awake. And the thing is, this wasn't even about revenge yet, not fully. This was about observation. Seeing just how far she'd go, how elaborate the lie would get when no one stopped her. I wanted her to write the final chapter in her own handwriting. Later that night, I ordered 2 things: a custom ring box, velvet black, with the word "used" etched faintly beneath the satin, and a digital billboard ad set to run outside her favorite Charleston brunch spot the day she was scheduled to return. It was just a phrase. Simple, quiet damning. The ticket to paradise isn't free. Ask Savannah M. I didn't know if she'd see it. I didn't even care. I just wanted the universe to mirror back the lesson. By Saturday, I had everything I needed. My lawyer confirmed under South Carolina law her behavior qualified as marital misconduct, and I could legally deny alimony. I updated the LLC's access rights, froze our joint account, and rerouted the business email to a private server. I even made a backup of her influencer photo archive, not to post, but to preserve what she built off my time and trust. At 10 p.m. that night, Grayson texted me. She just ordered caviar. Card declined. Waiter tried again. Still declined. She's asking for Cameron's card now. A moment later, he's not thrilled. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. But I did finally feel something close to equilibrium. Because for the first time in years, I wasn't the supporting role in her movie. I wasn't the guy behind the scenes pulling lights and cables. I was the director. And Savannah? She was just about to realize she'd never had the script. Sunday morning felt like the quiet before a hurricane. The air had that stillness, the kind you feel before a huge truth lands and changes the shape of the room. I brewed my coffee slower than usual. No rush. No panic. Every piece was already in motion. All I had to do now was let it play. At 11:12 a.m., Grayson texted. She's at the poolside cabana. Just tried to charge a fruit platter and 2 cocktails. Card declined again. She's confused. Now she's calling the front desk. Getting loud. I pictured her big sunglasses, wide-brimmed hat, holding her phone like it was a lifeline, and not the exact thing that was about to sever her fantasy from reality. At 11:28 a.m., my phone buzzed. Savannah calling. I waited. Let it ring once, twice. Then I answered. Calm, even-toned. The way I used to speak to irrational clients back when I worked corporate, back when swallowing frustration was a skill that paid rent. Hey, sweetheart? She sounded breathless. Eli, thank God. Something's wrong with the card. Everything's declining. I can't pay for the suite or the pool tab. Can you call the bank and fix it? I stirred my coffee. That's strange, I said mildly. I thought you were in New York. Silence. Sorry, she said, voice suddenly tight. You told me you were in New York for a client summit. I am, she said. But her voice cracked just slightly. I was. There was a change of plans. Cameron had business in Aspen. I thought I mentioned it. You didn't. Well, I was going to. We were still figuring it out. Another pause. I let the quiet hang, let her sweat in it. Eli, why isn't the card working? I reported it stolen. What? Yeah. It was being used for spa appointments and champagne suites without my consent. Pretty sure that counts. She gasped. Eli, I can't pay for this room. I didn't bring anything else. Cameron's card isn't working either. We're stuck here. Paradise has its price, I said softly. Maybe someone should have read the terms and conditions. Her voice dropped to a whisper. You knew I knew when Grayson called me 5 nights ago. I knew when you posted a photo pretending to be in New York with a piece of Aspen artwork behind your shoulder. I knew when my Amex lit up with a $220 robe you wouldn't even wear at home. And I knew when I stopped getting the version of you I married and started getting the version you perform for strangers. Please, she said, voice cracking. Now you don't understand. It's not what it looks like. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I leaned back in my chair. You didn't try. You succeeded. She was quiet for a beat, then louder. You can't just leave me like this, Eli. You can't cut me off like I don't matter. I didn't cut you off, I said. You walked off. I just shut the door behind you. There was a sound almost like a choked sob, but then it hardened. Fine, she snapped. You made your point. Call the hotel. Fix the card. I'll leave. I'll pay you back. We can talk when I'm home. I smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Savannah. You're not coming back to the house. Another silence. Thicker this time. What you'll see when you land. Or don't. That's up to you. Either way, the locks are changed. The utilities are out of your name. Your access to the business has been revoked. And your belongings? They're boxed. Neatly. In a storage unit? Code 0309. Our anniversary. Eli, I didn't want to do this over the phone, but then again, you didn't think twice before lying to my face with a flight itinerary and a fake hotel lobby selfie. So I think we're even. She started to speak again, but I ended the call. Grayson texted me 2 minutes later. She's staring at her phone like it betrayed her. Cameron's already packing. Didn't even say goodbye. Another, she's at the concierge desk, trying to explain. Looks like she's crying now. And then a photo followed. Savannah standing near the valet, holding her shoes in one hand, her hair frizzed from the pool. Humidity makeup streaked the same oversized sunglasses, now shoved on top of her head. Alone. I stared at the photo for a while. Not out of satisfaction, but because for the first time in years, I wasn't the one waiting for her to come home. She was the one stranded, caught in a dream she paid for with someone else's credit. And that finally was the truth catching up, because you can lie to people. You can lie to followers, friends, even family. But eventually the bill comes due, and this time it wasn't mine. The thing about image is it doesn't shatter all at once. It crumbles. Hairline fractures you don't see until it's in pieces at your feet. Savannah had curated hers carefully. Every caption, every filtered sunrise, every perfectly angled plate of food tagged Cha-Cha brand strategy queen. People believed her when she said our life was a balance of hustle and harmony. What they didn't see was me doing her invoices at 2 a.m. while she live-streamed wine tastings in rented dresses. But I saw it. And now so did others. The morning after I cut the card, I logged onto her LinkedIn page. She had just posted a story. Client retreats are all about connection. Aspen is magical. Grateful to be thriving while others are just surviving. I stared at that sentence for a long time. Then I posted a single comment underneath it. Hope the magic was worth the meltdown. Receipts coming soon. It sat there for 6 minutes before she deleted the entire profile. Not just the story, the whole account. But it didn't matter. Her agency had already seen it. You see, Savannah didn't just lie to me. She lied to her firm. The client she went to Aspen with Cameron Hale was technically a vendor, one she wasn't authorized to entertain, let alone share a suite with on the company's dime. And the expenses all billed through her corporate travel card. I didn't have to do much. Just forwarded a few photos Grayson sent to a generic HR email. Included timestamps, suite confirmations, her original itinerary to New York. A few screenshots from our joint email where she bragged about finessing brand-sponsored upgrades. Within 24 hours, I got a text from a mutual friend, Dude. Savannah's out. Fired. Internal audit incoming. HR's in flames. I didn't reply. There wasn't anything to say. Grayson called me around noon. She left the resort, he said, took an Uber to the airport. Cameron ditched her about an hour before checkout. Said something about a wife he wasn't technically divorced from. Of course. That tracks. People who lie attract others who lie better. Back in Charleston, I spent the next 2 days doing what Savannah never thought I'd do, claiming everything I built. The LLC for her branding consultancy transferred to my name. I had the paperwork, the seed, funding the timestamps. She brought the flair. I brought the infrastructure. Our home bought with my pre-marital savings. She contributed nothing but decorative pillows. I filed the asset protection clause I had quietly added to our prenup after she once joked half-drunk about marrying up. The lawyer said it was airtight. You can remove her from all property entitlements by Friday. Good, I said. Do it. That same night, I packed her things methodically, not maliciously, labelled every box. Clothes, shoes, skincare down to her curling iron and phone charger. I didn't break anything, didn't burn photos, but I did remove her wedding ring from the box. The next morning, I walked into a pawn shop just off King Street, dropped it on the counter and said, "Whatever it gets, I want donated." To what the guy asked, "A youth shelter, in her name." He raised an eyebrow but didn't question it, just wrote the receipt and passed it back. Later that day, Savannah called from a borrowed number. I knew it was her before I picked up because it rang twice, stopped, rang again like some pathetic Morse code for please. I answered, didn't say anything, just listened. "Eli," she whispered, I need help. I'm back in Charleston. I don't have my keys. My account's locked. I don't even have my charger. Can we talk? Please?" I didn't expect it to fall apart like this. I let the silence do the talking. I was stupid, I know. But we can fix it. I'll get another job. I'll explain it was a misunderstanding. Just, let's talk face to face. I'll come home, we can work this out. I exhaled. "You can come to the address on the storage unit receipt. That's where your life is now." "You don't mean that," she said, voice cracking again. I did. What she never understood was that I wasn't punishing her. I was just done subsidizing her delusion. She had gambled a quiet, steady love for a weekend of novelty and ego. And now the only brand she had left was fallout. Savannah showed up at the house around 7 p.m., 2 days after she left Aspen, wearing the same wrinkled cream blouse she wore in Grayson's photo. Her hair was tied up messily, face bare, no makeup, no filter, no version of her that could be staged for a camera. She rang the bell. Then again. Then she tried the old key. It didn't turn. I watched from my car across the street, parked behind a row of hedges, engine off. Not out of cruelty, just to witness the moment someone finally meets the consequence they never thought would arrive. She paced, knocked once more, called me, twice. I didn't answer. She walked around to the back door, also changed. She tried the garage keypad, dead. Then she leaned against the wall, her face lit only by the dim porch light, her phone screen flickering in her hand, like it could still save her. Eventually, she saw the note taped to the door, Savannah. "As of this morning, this property is legally under my sole name. You no longer reside here. For your belongings, see the storage unit listed below. Code 030 sign. Our anniversary. Ironic, I know. Eli." She stood there for a long time, then sank slowly to the porch steps, as if her body had finally caught up to what her choices had cost her. I left before she saw me. Drove across town to the unit, unlocked it, and left the keys inside the box marked bathroom. Everything was stacked neatly, folded with care, her perfumes still sealed, her books alphabetized. I didn't destroy a single thing, except one. The ring box was there, but it was empty. In its place, I left a printout of the pawn shop receipt. A note attached read, "Proceeds donated to the Charleston Youth Shelter in your name." It was the one thing you wore with pride that I could still turn into something good. Later that night, Ruthie, my sister, called. She said Savannah had shown up at her cafe. Didn't make a scene, she told me. Just sat on the bench out front, didn't order anything. Looked tired. She asked about you. Said she just wanted one conversation. Said she didn't know it would all go this far. "It always goes this far," I said. She just thought I'd catch her before it did. Ruthie sighed. "You okay?" "I think I am," I told her. I think I've never been clearer. The next day I got a voicemail from Savannah. Her voice was softer than I'd ever heard it. Not dramatic, not performative, just small. Eli, I'm not even sure why I'm recording this. I know you don't owe me anything, but I wanted to say I'm sorry, not just for Aspen, for everything, for making you feel invisible, for thinking you'd always be there no matter how far I pushed it. You didn't deserve that. None of it. I thought I was chasing something bigger, something exciting. I didn't realize until now. You were the only thing that ever made me feel safe. And I broke it. I broke us. Anyway, I'll stop calling. I needed you to hear my voice one last time, even if it doesn't matter. I saved the message, not to listen to it again, but to remember how far she had to fall before she finally saw the ground. I never hated Savannah. Not really. Hate takes effort. And I wasn't giving her any more of mine. What I felt now was peace. She sent the letter through a rideshare courier, handwritten, folded 3 times, placed in an old envelope with no return address. I found it tucked under my windshield wiper after work. The handwriting was unmistakably hers, neat-rounded, always trying to look softer than it felt. Eli, if you're reading this, it means you didn't block me. So I guess that's something. I know you don't owe me anything. I know I burned the bridge and then tried to pretend there was still a way across. But I'm asking just once, could we meet? Not to fix anything, just to end it like real people, not ghosts. I stared at the words for a while, then tucked the letter in my coat pocket. Not because I forgave her, but because I was done carrying pieces of a story I no longer lived in. So I said yes. 1 meeting. 1 coffee. Neutral place. No promises. She showed up 10 minutes late, walked into the little bookstore cafe off King Street, wearing a cardigan I'd given her 2 Christmases ago. It used to hang off her shoulders like elegance. Now it looked too big, too heavy, like the weight of everything had finally settled. Her face was pale, thinner, eyes tired in a way makeup could never cover. She slid into the seat across from me, hands folded in front of her, like she was afraid even her fingers might say too much. I'm not here to beg, she said. Her voice was lower than I remembered. I just needed to look you in the eye and say I'm sorry. I nodded. Let the silence breathe. I was selfish, she continued. I thought I was missing something, and instead of talking to you, I looked for it somewhere reckless, somewhere easy. And I don't expect you to care now. I wouldn't if I were you. Still, I said nothing. I didn't realize what I had until the noise went quiet. And it's just me now. No cameras, no comments, no plan, just echoes. Finally, I spoke. I believed in you, Savannah. In us. I gave you every ounce of stability I had. I worked late, paid your bills, protected your name when you were reckless. And I would have kept doing it, not because I'm weak, but because I thought we were a team. Her lip trembled, but she didn't look away. But you didn't want a teammate, I said. You wanted a fan club, someone who clapped while you burned down your own life and blamed the smoke on the wind. Tears spilled now, but I didn't flinch. I pulled an envelope from my coat and slid it across the table. She didn't open it. She already knew. Finalized divorce decree. No alimony. No claim to the business. No access to the house. Just closure. She gripped it with shaking fingers. You really hate me that much, I shook my head gently. I don't hate you at all. And I meant it. Hate would mean she still lived in me. But she didn't. She nodded, stood slowly and whispered, "Goodbye, Eli." I let her walk out first. She didn't look back. And that was the last time I saw her. It's been 6 months. Savannah moved to a small town just outside Durham. Word is she works the front counter at a boutique that sells candles and recycled denim jackets. No more marketing decks. No travel vlogs. No speaking panels about curated authenticity. Her social accounts are gone. Not deactivated, erased, like they were a costume she finally couldn't unzip. She lives in a small studio above the shop. Her landlord posted a photo last week, some support local feature in a community paper. I saw it by accident. She looked still, not broken, not glowing, just still. And that felt like enough. As for me, I moved to Austin. Ruthie had space above the cafe she co-owns, so I rented it for a while until I found a brick bungalow with wild ivy and quiet mornings. I reopened my own design firm, a small one, just me, a partner I trust, and a few clients who don't expect fireworks, just solid work. We focus on adaptive design housing for single parents, transitional shelters, youth centers. I wanted to build things for people trying to rebuild themselves, because I get it now. You can't always stop someone from setting fire to the life you built together, but you can walk out of the smoke and start again. I get letters sometimes, messages from people who heard what happened, who saw the fallout play out in slow motion and wanted to ask, was it worth it, the revenge, the scorched earth? And I tell them the truth. It was never about revenge. That was just the headline people wrote for themselves. It was about recognition, about waking up from a long, slow erasure and finally realizing I wasn't disposable. The final voicemail she left, the one I never responded to, said you were the only real thing I had. I just didn't know how to sit still with it. I deleted it, not out of spite, but because I no longer needed proof of her regret. Her absence was proof enough. People think strength is about speaking last, delivering the final blow. But real strength, it's saying nothing. It's letting go. It's building something better alone if you have to. No grand finale. No explosion. Just silence, and the sound of your own life finally returning to you. Sometimes the most powerful form of justice isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, clarity. The ticket she thought was free reminds us that love without respect is a slow unraveling, and that silence in the face of betrayal is not weakness, but often a deliberate form of strength. Eli's story isn't just about heartbreak. It's about reclaiming worth after being diminished, about choosing boundaries over bitterness, and about learning that walking away can be the loudest answer of all. In real life, so many people stay too long in relationships where they're ignored, used, or taken for granted, hoping things will fix themselves. But healing begins the moment we stop asking for someone else to see our value and start seeing it ourselves. This story encourages anyone who's ever felt invisible in their own life to recognize that peace isn't something we wait for others to give us. It's something we build by letting go of what was never meant to stay. If this story resonated with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever had to choose peace over conflict, or walk away from something that once felt permanent? Hit like if this gave you something to think about, and subscribe to the channel for more emotionally rich and thought-provoking stories about resilience, betrayal, and personal truth. Wherever you are right now, I hope you find quiet strength, clarity, and the courage to write your next chapter on your own terms.